for me.
Okay.
But everybody got a different embodiment of that energy in their life and their family. Grand matriarch, right? So that big mama energy is what we call vice lord energy. She is the one who holds the earth's purse strings. And when they talk about Oshun returning with the sweet water, she ain't nowhere but sitting in Big Mama house looking at these motherfuckers looking stupid. Right? Because Big Mama told them, and Big Papa, Obatala, in the Orisha pantheon, right? They both told all of the Orishas, the Oshun is a sweetheart, but she just don't kiss ass.
So let me ask you something about that since we're talking about the Orishas, right? So if I don't know about something, I'm not going to dab in it. I have an actual crystal store, and a lot of people been coming into my store, and they say, oh, I'm E5, I'm E5. Your ancestors said, go to St. Martin's, go here, go there, right? And I knew this one girl who was into E5, and she was basically using these deities, these spirits, to put spells and do bad stuff to people. And I'm thinking to myself, if those is my ancestors and those is your ancestors, how can they do something to me? How is those my ancestors and you can use them to put something bad on me? So to me,
because all your ancestors don't mean you know motherfucking good. That's how. And some of your ancestors is some of the rottenest motherfuckers that ever walked this bitch. Right? And some of them are validated by people with that same energy.
So why would I do? My phone was my battery going there. But no, listen. So I don't even want to deal with no energies like that.
You don't have to. When you deal with your benevolent, listen. When you deal with the benevolent ancestors, and you tell them ones with that negative ass energy to get the fuck on, they can't come around you because your other ancestors woke wide awake with their ass on the other side.
And that's what keep me protected, because I don't, I respect whatever somebody do, I respect it. But my thing is, you can't tell me that you into something and you putting a spell on somebody that you love, because why are you trying to make somebody love you in the first place? That's going to be the same person that kill you. If they don't love you, let them go. A lot of people don't even know how to love,
Well, here go the biggest part about that. If you got to put some spell on somebody to make them love you, you got to look at yourself and find out what the fuck wrong with you.
There you go.
To make you need a spell.
A lot of people do it.
I know. Believe me, I know. They be trying that shit on me and I be laughing because I can see it.
What it look like?
Big mama tell me all the time.
Yeah, I can tell when somebody trying to do something to me, because it's almost like I can feel it forming, but it don't prosper. I'll be like, man, and they hate that you just be real with them. You ain't even got to do nothing to nobody,
Nope.
And they just, oh, she thinks she this. Oh, she thinks I don't think I'm nothing. That's your perspective of me. Yeah. I'm not in competition with nobody but myself, and I help anybody get on,
I always tell motherfucker that, you think you know everything. No, motherfucker, you just think I know everything because I know more than you. now you trying to offer up my opinion of me to make me look like I'm trying to make myself superior to you, and that's not the case. So when you realize that you think I know more than you, which makes you think I know everything, then that tells you that you had an over motherfucking inflated ego.
There it is. Somebody said that's not the Orishas. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know what it was. I wasn't getting into it. If I don't know what something is, I don't get into it.
Because she's talking about the lowers. She's talking about lowers. And the Orisha and the lowers it's denominational, like Catholic and Protestant. So the voodoo, the Santeria, the hoodoo, you know what I'm saying? When you start talking about the lower, you start talking about the Orisha, you start talking about the Obe, it's denominational. Ancient denominations, the same as the church broke up into, you got your evangelist, you got your evangelistic church, your American Methodist Episcopal Church, you got your Orthodox church, Baptist church, your Protestant church, your Presbyterian, Episcopalian. Those are
Right.
denominations, right? So we look at it.
Yeah, they
A lot
all
of
teach
people,
different stuff.
a lot of people get offended because you will say, if you say talking to somebody who worship the Orishas and you call the Orishas a Lord, they get attitude. I don't get attitude. I don't get attitude because I be like, okay, well, whatever. Because it's denominational. It's
Yeah.
according to, because each one of them have a different culture attached to the original doctrine, the underlying principles of the doctrine, right? Once you know once you get to the root, then you don't have to worry about denominations. That's why I can pick up a book and read about say the Dogon tribe, the Dogon mysteries. I can read their mysteries and know what they're talking about as if I was a Dogon because I know the origin stories.
Oh yeah, that's deep. That make a lot of sense.
Yes, it's just denominational, right? And the reason why it's like in Islam, Muslim, you got these motherfucking Negroes over here convert to Islam wearing the Jalabiel and sandals in New York in December and January like a fucking idiot. That's not religion or religious doctrine. That's cultural. So you didn't appropriate the religion. You appropriated the Arab culture using the religion as the transporting vehicle of the culture. Christianity is Roman. It is the application of Roman culture in other parts of the world with spiritual beliefs by undermining the local spiritual beliefs and putting the church as the preeminent doctrine of the Roman Catholic motherfucking system.
Oh yeah, that make perfect sense.
It's the same with the Hebrews, right? They don't even read their doctrine. I'm sitting here watching these motherfuckers talk about they Israelites and calling pale-skinned people Adamites, and they don't even know. They don't got enough sense to read where it tell you in there that Jacob stole Esau's birthright. And if the pale people was Edomites, that means that you stole a birthright. That means that they got a superior birthright than you, and you a thief and an underminer and a supplanter, and you the goddamn devil masquerading as the angel.
Ooh. Whoop, there it is.
It's right there in the fucking book.
Yeah.
But they want to be quick to use this racist agenda for divide and conquer purposes. That shit don't work on me because I can see through it all.
Ooh, that's deep. Wow, that is deep. You deep. I love it, and it make perfect sense. That's why I stay in my own lane.
Yeah.
I love it, Rod. I love it. I love your energy. I love everything about you. You dope.
Appreciate you, sister.
Yeah.
Look, these motherfuckers get into this religion shit and take sides. Now, think about this for a minute. We looking at some shit in a book. Allegedly, we don't even know if it's true. Happened 2,000 years ago.
Right. It's all right, Miss ESPN. Slow down. You shouldn't be questioned. Okay, we gonna keep the good energy in here. I'm all right, Miss ESPN. Calm me down. Calm me down. If I ain't responding, you don't need to respond either. Love and light. That's all we respond to. Miss ESPN going in, and somebody said it's those contexts. I told you, Miss ESPN, that's my baby. I know her, and we talked, and somebody was saying something about me, and she kind of like snapped on them. Let it go. I don't, and see, when people come with me with stuff, I don't even reply to negativity. If it's something somebody's saying about me, I'm sorry. If I ever made you feel some type of way, I'm sorry. Because that's not my intentions. I don't do darkness. I don't go back and forth with people. If you don't like me or you got something
I'm with the shit. I'm with all. I want all the smoke.
See, I'm not.
But there's only one problem. I don't got no problem with none of the smoke. I just got to be right. As long as I'm right, because I know sometimes if you, in order to do what's right, you got to punch a motherfucker in the face. Scorpio?
Oh yeah, I love Scorpios. I'm a Virgo.
Oh, okay then. Look,
Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn.
as long as I'm
Oh, okay.
right, I'm gonna take it wherever it need to go in order to resolve the matter. I know from experience, sometimes if you want to do what's right, you got to punch a motherfucker in the face, push their snot box back, turn they spit red, fatten their lip, give them 2 black eyes, and then kick them in the balls just to do the right thing. I don't got no problem with that. Now, I also understand this. Everybody got a right to think and feel whatever the fuck they want, right or wrong. And I got a right to continue to be right and not give a fuck about them.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Ooh, the greatest gift Miss ESPN gave me was this live.
Yeah, I'm glad you got something out of it. I want to take another caller before I go. I'm
I
getting
know.
tired.
I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I'm gonna What's your other? You said your other Instagram is what
Rod
now?
Hayes.
Rod Hayes.
Rod Hayes. Yeah.
Okay.
Inbox me on this. Inbox me on this one, and then I'll send you the link to the other one.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to jump off. I ain't gonna watch you no more because I'm gonna mess around and fall asleep. I didn't turn my phone on. I'm in the bed with my little ponytail, laying down. I got to be up at 6, and this just gave me all the energy. I need to go back to sleep. So I'm gonna DM you and I'm gonna jump off here. And thank you, and I wish you nothing but love, light, and great health and wealth. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate you.
All right, later.
Yeah. Queen B. There's 2 of y'all left. Might seem to some people, I just study harder than everybody else. But if I don't know it, I'm gonna go find it out so I can help you to excel with it.
Right.
Right? So when I say free Larry Hoover is the battle cry, Larry Hoover from the land. He's an innocent man that had lost his fucking life because he could have did something about our condition if he was in the street. We under the impression they keeping him in there so that they can clean up our neighborhood. It's the exact opposite is the truth. The same with Angel Bay. The same with Big Tookie. The ones whose job it is has been held incommunicado to the masses. I was in prison. I couldn't do it in prison. You got to be free. You can't be a bond servant and say you're exercising your sovereign jurisdiction. You can't do it from a position of service and bondage and servitude. They know this, right? Then they know they get the guys in prison to raping the young guys coming in because they know that once they've been anally penetrated, they no longer fit the rules. So if they do figure the problem out, let that nigga go. He can't do nothing about it. Right? So we come, hey, bruh, you one of the chiefs on the land. I'm finna show you something. I need you to look at this problem and this solution and tell me if we need to put it in the public domain to present to the rest of the chiefs. Right? So I present the problem to you. I present the solution to you. I tell you why this is the only solution that'll work, and I'll show you the other solutions that I've examined to try to resolve the matter.
Right.
Right? So in the Holy Tablets, under leadership, it says a plan that's workable anywhere is workable everywhere. If the plan is not workable everywhere, it's not truly workable anywhere. Right? Because those similarly situated will solve the problem similarly. So that means that the earthborn if one of them find a solution out, it should work wherever you go. Right? And we the last ones left because the other people around the world that's been taking this information and exercising it, it worked. We ain't the only ones going through this process. The whole planet is. Right?
Yeah, Australia was on the forefront, right, with the Mawali tribe.
Well, they was about their business. Some of the earliest ones to step up and start to exercise their sovereignty was Jamaica and Barbados. And that's why they announced that they was no longer under the jurisdiction of the Crown of England. And they say now they under the Republic. It's reverse engineering. It's going back out the same way you came in.
Right.
Now, once they establish the Republic is still not the people yet. It's the leadership speaking on behalf of the people.
Of the people, okay.
Right? And this goes back to Plato's Republic, which was part of the discourses that take place in Rome on government. So now when you go through the government's discourse on running government that goes back to Rome, and you get to Plato's Republic, and then you start looking at all of the philosophies of government trace back to Plato's Republic. So now the next thing you have to do, the next jump, is to go back to what we was before Plato's Republic. Right? And they call that the feudal state. The feudal state is predicated upon family groups making alliances across the land. Right? And then you got your tribal custom or your family tradition. I got mine. Right? This is how we know when our tribe people is born in another clan and they got to marry back into the home tribe. They got an affinity to go back to the motherfuckers that live their life how they know it. They was born in your clan, but they from my clan. Now, when they get old enough to marry, for some reason, they marrying somebody in my clan as opposed to somebody in your clan. Right? So they got to still come home. But also, they bringing some of your genetic material over here into this clan, and this is how you prevent the birth defects. Right? We eternal beings. That means we don't never die. So we got to perpetually coming back in the reincarnation cycle as it's told in the story of Osiris. Right? And then we come in, and you come in levels. Right? In the time of plenty and bounty, you let the fuck-ups come run shit because they got a lot of shit that they could fuck up. Without it having an eternal effect. Right? So you let the fuck-ups, the newbies come in and get their practice in, but when they get totally fucked up like it is now you got to call the baddest motherfuckers ever born to all come together like fucking Autobots to form the Optimus Prime motherfucker in order to fix the shit that all of the other kids came before and fucked it up.
Captain Planet type shit.
Right. So we call that the back to the beginning. You ever hear him say back to the drawing board? You got to restructure this shit, reformat it, put it in the format it's supposed to be in. It's gonna run how it's supposed to run. Right. This time, the going in and out of the Aquarian age into the going out of Piscean age to Aquarian age, you no longer are fisher of men. What that make you? Now you a hunter of birds.
That J you was talking about.
Yep.
That hook. That's why it was important during that, man. Yo, this wild.
Right. Now, that hook, when you hunting birds, turns into a long barrel pistol that became a rifle. When you straighten that son of a bitch back out.
Now it's back to this. Okay.
So now you're not fishing in the water, you shooting in the sky. It's a complete flip of opposites, polar opposites, a pole flip, an energetic pole flip.
The birds. That would be us, fam. That would be the people.
Right. But in this case, when we talking about hunting the birds, we're not talking about like literally shooting them down. We talk about giving them the information. It's coming from under the water where you have to trust what you see blindly because you can't see underwater clearly. But when you flip to a bird's eye view, you can see from above what you couldn't see from under the depth. What was in your subconscious mind was the fish. But bring it to your conscious mind, and now they are birds, fins and feathers. Right? So once you get this alignment of information where you can see it, like looking through a needle. The only way a motherfucker getting through the eye of a needle, he got to be smaller than the eye of a needle. Not impossible. Depends on perspective. How did a rich man get through the eye of a needle? Get as far away from that motherfucker as he can. Then who's ever looking through the needle's eye sees the rich man clearly. The problem with that is he's in the crosshairs of a scope now. Everybody know who doing the dirt at that point. Ain't no more hiding that shit. So the rich man would rather his elephant or camel, depending on the culture you come from, walk past the motherfucker holding the needle without being seen than to be seen through the eye of the needle. Right? He don't physically go through it. But the perception sees through the needle, which brings the rich man into the scope's view.
I get what you're saying now. That's crazy. So essentially what you're saying is that old phrase that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven. It's the same thing as, it's like trying to get through the eye of a needle. And that's what makes it complicated is because he's putting himself in eyesight.
Right. He got to be seen to go through the eye. He can't go through the eye unseen. And once the rich man is seen as a hoarder of wealth, you have what I call now the Benny Hinn Creflo Dollar effect.
Creflo walking all that back.
Look, he ain't the only one.
he said ties is a lie. I was like, there you go.
He ain't the only one about to tell it all. See, they gotta all take the piece that they the most guilty of doing for their redemption. Right? So TD Jakes gave his ministry to his daughter because she is more upright than he is, and he noticed. The side effect to that is it's going to cause the disruption in the life of his other daughter, which you see him play out now. Right? Because she was the one who was supposed to have been the heir. But he made the righteous one the black sheep, which was thereby making the one who was supposed to be the heir lose her motherfucking kingdom because he treated the other one wrong. And it's in the treatment of the siblings. He should have treated them the same. You can't favor one of your children over the other. You can look at them differently, but you have to treat them equally. Right? And that's where he fucked up. So now the one he perceived as being the golden child, because she was the oldest, turned out to not be the golden child. The golden child was the second one because the deuces is the flip. Because Cain slew Abel. Abel didn't slew Cain. Right? And Cain was the oldest, so he lost the inheritance to all of the firstborn. So what would be an heir under the firstborn rule becomes the heir under the secondborn rule because Cain slew Abel. And Jacob tried to steal Esau's birthright.
Yep. Shit that man off.
And Esau is the ruddy red man. See that color? I'm just saying. So when you see these so-called Hebrew Israelites talking about the Edomites is pale-skinned Europeans, a fucker holding the needle without being seen, than to be seen through the eye of the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He don't physically go through it. But the perception sees through the needle, which brings the rich man into the scope's view.
I get what you're saying now. That's crazy. So essentially what you're saying is that old phrase that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven. It's the same thing as, it's like trying to get through the eye of a needle. And that's what makes it complicated, is because he's putting himself in eyesight.
Right. He got to be seen to go through the eye. He can't go through the eye unseen. And once the rich man is seen as a hoarder of wealth, you have what I call now the Benny Hinn Creflo Dollar effect.
Creflo walking all that back.
Look, he ain't the only one.
he said ties is a lie. I was like, there you go.
He ain't the only one about to tell it all. See, they gotta all take the piece that they the most guilty of doing for their redemption. Right? So TD Jakes gave his ministry to his daughter because she is more upright than he is, and he noticed. The side effect to that is it's going to cause the disruption in the life of his other daughter, which you see him play out now. Right? Because she was the one who was supposed to have been the heir. But he made the righteous one, the black sheep, which was thereby making the one who was supposed to be the heir lose her motherfucking kingdom because he treated the other one wrong. And it's in the treatment of the siblings. He should have treated them the same. You can't favor one of your children over the other. You can look at them differently, but you have to treat them equally. Right? And that's where he fucked up. So now the one he perceived as being the golden child, because she was the oldest, turned out to not be the golden child. The golden child was the second one because the deuces is the flip. Because Cain slew Abel. Abel didn't slew Cain. Right? And Cain was the oldest, so he lost the inheritance to all of the firstborn. So what would be an heir under the firstborn rule becomes the heir under the secondborn rule because Cain slew Abel. And Jacob tried to steal Esau's birthright.
Yep. Shit that man off.
And Esau is the ruddy red man. See that color? I'm just saying. So when you see these so-called Hebrew Israelites talking about the Edomites is pale-skinned Europeans, it's because they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Flat don't know what they got a whole bunch of conjecture, but it doesn't mean what they think it do. And the only reason why they don't know what it means is because it's not for them to figure out the problem, or else they would have knew what it meant.
Right.
So Big Mama wanted somebody else to figure out the problem, so she let them chase their goddamn tail.
I think it ain't all the way, but damn near broke it all the way down from top to bottom what's going on.
That's hey, we go wherever the questions take me. You the mod on this motherfucker.
Yeah, they got questions. They definitely do. Now I know you passed this part, like you said, you were studying in the past, and you feel like the contract with it being dead, they don't have to honor any of this process.
No. I don't feel nothing about the contract.
Well, I haven't. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the contract is expired. The reason it's expired is I closed the contract out on behalf of the people of the land because they never honored the treaty. I presented evidence to close the contract, the fact that every treaty has been complained about in open court. That's mean it's a public domain complaint that proves a prima facie case, meaning on the surface, off a clear first look, they obviously had no intentions on honoring any other treaties and had 400 years to do so. Since they didn't have any intentions of honoring any other treaties, I closed the contracts on behalf of the people. Not because I'm better than nobody or not because I'm smarter than nobody. I just knew what to do according to the law.
You were
And
prepared
because
at
I
the
know
time.
what to do according to the law in both jurisdictions, our original jurisdiction before they came and under their system, I know what I'm supposed to do. It becomes now my responsibility, even if I don't want it. I have to do it to claim everything for the ones who is unaware, because ignorance is no excuse, right? So it worked both ways. If ignorance is no excuse of you keeping our wealth from us, then when I reclaim the wealth, the ignorance won't be no excuse for my people to get their shit back. Because they don't know they have the wealth, that you can't use that to call them imbeciles in law because I claim it on their behalf. That moves me into a trustee status.
Yeah, you're acting as
to the
peers.
people. Right. So now I'm just speaking up on behalf of every one of us. I'm not just speaking up for me. That makes the problem because everybody that speaks up for us is murdered by niggas. Or locked up by the Pale Nations of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Taking out the picture pretty much.
Yep. Neutralized. That's what they call it.
They're doing it with all the
the
celebrities who get a conscience and start dropping some of the info of what's going on. They go to jail and then come back a whole different person.
But it's codes. Now watch this. Biggie was Chief Sitting Bull who got caught at the post letting the enemies through without properly screening them. That's Chief Sitting Bull. Notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace is Chief Sitting Bull. Chief Sitting Bull now has to be publicly flogged before the rest of the chiefs. Now it got to be one of the assassinated chiefs in past history that does it. So first off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim. A public flogging,
right,
in front of all of the chiefs to see.
Right.
Okay, now what does that mean in our culture? That means that in order for us to know who got caught slipping, he gonna take his punishment like a man, and he ain't gonna say shit. What'd he do?
He ain't say shit.
He ain't say shit. He took that shit, right? He ain't the only one.
He said, "That's my boy." That's what he said. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, this is how you know he's sitting bull. The last interview, he's sitting down. I think he was at the Rucker, and he was doing the interview on. I think it was either Yo MTV Raps or it was on, in the basement. One of the rap shows it was on. I think it was Yo MTV Raps. It was on. I think it was an MTV program. Okay, now he was sitting in the chair because he broke his leg in the car accident. Sitting Bull broke his leg when he fell off of a horse, or actually the horse carriage rolled over. And he had to walk with a stick because he had a pronounced limp. Mirror flip. Why in the fuck is Biggie not saying nothing to this nigga saying, fuck you and your wife? Motherfucker, I will be at your motherfucking head, right? Something else going on here. I got to look closer because it doesn't make sense to me. Right? Especially listening to the skill set. The skill set, he can handle it. He can come back.
Oh yeah, he would have ate parked up for sure.
But the culture says he can't say shit.
You got to take that.
He got to take this public flogging in order for the rest of the chiefs to know which one of these groups is behind it. They came in, Albert Pike, 32 Degrees, Scottish Rite, Freemason, Blackamoors, and Tawny Moors. The Tawny Moors' job was to hold the front line. What's the front line? It's the face of the company. And the Blackamoors' job was to mastermind the plot. Where did the mastermind be at? In the laboratory, behind the scenes, the war room, congregated. Now, once this happens, it makes you start asking, okay, well, who else? Right? I see somebody talking about they trying to kill me. What's up, Kulu? Big Mama told me to leave you alone. And she told me that you was doing that for a purpose. Said what I said. You know, so I gotta, we gave me a wave, so I was sending him a shout out. Anyway, so now the problem that we all face with becomes clear if we can read our culture back before they brought this other shit over here. Right? So now in reading the culture, I'm seeing, okay, this other guy talking about he big baby Jesus, Osiris, big baby Jesus. Why is he doing this? Like, what is it? What is he meaning? Because he looks slightly off kilter. Chief Crazy Horse, Shinnecock,
ODB.
Yeah. Chief Crazy Horse is instrumental in fighting with Spanish, French, and English forces. Right? And Geronimo, who is Geronimo Pratt, GINDJAB. Right? When he said his name was GINDJAB, that right there tells me, because that is Geronimo in his indigenous tongue.
GINDJAB.
GINDJAB. So when I hear that, I know exactly which one of the chiefs he is. So now I'm listening to him. I'm watching his moves as a strategist. This tells me who 80% of the members of the Black Panther Party are. Once I get this in understanding of what's taking place on the land, and then now I can say, hey, family, look, this is how we get our shit back.
Just that
once I realize this, right? So once I realize it, well, I can't wait. All this shit time sensitive for the ones who know what to do have to execute. Don't wait on the rest of them. They'll figure it out when you get done doing the work, right? So July the 4th, the contract expired. July the 6th, I staked the claim. I exercises the blood right and the right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told them on behalf of us. So let's say when I'm doing it, once I told you I did it, it's the same as if you did it in our culture. If you one of the chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have to tell the people, the chiefs who is responsible for staking the claim that is currently living but not doing their job. And then I got to find out why they not doing their job. And then I got to tell the people who they are, so that they can demand that whatever system is parks in our community, whatever system parks in our community, there's always, if we go back to our culture and our traditions, our oral traditions, there's always a remedy for us to reclaim the land back. All we need is a Jubilee year and a just cause. That's it. The only two things we need in order for us to reclaim what's ours. Now, leading up to the Jubilee year, I got to inform as many people possible on the land, like motherfucking, what's the nigga riding on the horse talking about the British is coming,
Paul
Revere. I'm on some Paul Revere shit now. Them bitches is leaving. Them bitch motherfuckers is leaving. Right? So I'm spreading the word across to them. They got to fucking go. Wake up. They got to fucking go.
Right.
Right? So now, when they wake up and y'all see what's going on, some of y'all gonna say that nigga tripping. Some of y'all gonna say, let me see what he talking about. But the sisters gonna know the whole time. Yeah, as soon as Rod get done telling their ass, and if they listen, right, every time one of the righteous sisters here, they say the same shit. All you gotta do is go back and look at my lives where I have guests on there. That resonates with me, what you be saying.
They do. It's in the subconscious though, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's resonating with them because they know something instinctually that men don't instinctually know. Big Mama gonna send somebody to make sure when her daughters ain't being treated right that they get all they shit. And I just so happen to be the motherfucker they seeing. So when I'm not doing what Big Mama want me to do, I can't even get a 2 minute. I can't even get a hey, how you doing out of sister. Period. But as soon as I figure out the problem, right, and then I follow the path that Big Mama and Mama laid for me, and they see me coming in, I got a different energy to them. Now they want to talk to me. Mm-hmm. Now they want to say, good job. You did what Big Mama sent you to do. We proud of you. We see you. Right? But I'm still going to have to wrestle with some of the guys because if I'm not performing in an area, somebody going to come and ruffle my feathers to make me get that part of the job done because that's what Big Mama going to send somebody. She always do. That's why I don't be so quick to fly off the handle with my short temper no more. But I will get into the shits. But sometimes I got to get into the shits, right, in order for me to see what she's trying to show me.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes that's going to bring out the best in you.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 minute because my sound went out.
All right. Oh, dang. Okay, we gotta get into some of these questions they dropping. There's some good ones in here.
Hold on. You know, let's say this here, and then we're gonna do a part 2 that's all Q&A with what you got in there.
Okay.
So tell me, right? Because I gotta get my sound right.
Okay. Wait
a minute. I can hear you.
It came back.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Well, we can rock on out then. You got the questions already.
Oh, bet. So this one is from So Wavy Girl. This is why I asked you that. That's what's like. I know you feel like the contract's over, but people are still looking for remedy because they still got these quote unquote bills. So she's asking, why do they report late? She's asking how to pay my light bill.
I made it where I didn't have any bills before I started my mission. So, you might get your lights cut off for a month. It might happen anyway.
Right.
Right.
The power go out.
No, serious. Look at what we gotta read. What's going on in real time? They're running out of diesel fuel. A lot of the electric producing facilities have diesel fuel generated generators as backups to whatever source they use, like hydroelectric or wind. They got backups that's made of diesel fuel. So if you get an overflow, the diesel fuel engine kicks on to add extra power to the local community. We're running out of diesel fuel. The reason we're running out of diesel fuel is because they are not making the detergents that allows the diesel fuels to be converted into fuel. And so we're going to experience that, but the sooner we separate from the system, the sooner we don't give a fuck about the system.
About paying bills.
Right. The shorter the suffering time is. Single ancestral tribe. The nations that would merge, you see that word? That means they came together. To become the Seminoles began appearing in Florida around 1750. That's a Q50 flip for me. But anyway, Creeks, Muskogee, and other Muskogean peoples were fleeing white encroachment on their lands in the build-up to the final French and Indian War. Stop. What? They was never running from encroachment on the land. Everybody was going to the southeast to fight the goddamn conquistadors because we knew what they did in South America.
Man, this is heavy. Go ahead. Don't let this go over your head.
All right. Another group, now, we're going to add another group, was also seeking freedom, enslaved blacks. Come on now.
Come on, man.
If they going to push the slave doctrine, that's why you know this is not us telling the stories. This is the enemy telling the story, because he calling us enslaved blacks. We knew we went to fight in a war. We didn't go over there to be free. We went to kill something to get killed. Some blacks had already fled their masters. I mean, they wasn't slaves already. Emerging as the Gullah people of Georgia and South Carolina. Make that shit make sense, Elder.
That's right. That's right.
Some blacks had already fled their masters.
You on their ass.
Emerging as the Gullah people of South Carolina. Them motherfuckers been there for hundreds of thousands of years.
You on their ass, bro. You on their ass. Oh.
Now look what it say. They kept a few of their African traditions and remnants of their language alive. Remember we talked about speaking pidgin?
Yeah.
Right? They were lured by the Spanish. See what they're saying, right? The Spanish promises of wages if the blacks would agree to join the Spanish garrisons of Florida. Now, why wouldn't the fuck would we join the enemy?
Right.
But they wasn't passing themselves off as Spaniards. They was passing themselves off as Moors.
Yeah.
The Gullah and other blacks both escaped slaves and freedmen. That's two classifications in law.
That's right.
Soon discover that army life wasn't any better than slavery.
Look at it, bro. Look at it.
That's just on the first page in the discussion of the Gullah Wars. Now they telling you right here, this is how you know the enemy telling us the story. Some blacks had already fled their masters, emerging as the Gullah people. Ask any motherfucker that's Gullah get you, where the fuck they come from before 1492, and they gonna point to the same part of the country.
Yep. Yep.
There is commemorative buildings on islands just off the coast down there that very few people even know exist.